Hello everyone, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today I am doing a basically overall review of the new Menagerie Cosmetics Killer Purr palette. You guys tell I'm super excited. I am mixing my words up. So this palette just came in this weekend, but as you guys know, if you followed me for a long time, you guys know that this is one of those brands that is my number one. I love their overall aesthetic, their palettes, everything about them. I own all of their palettes basically at this point, and of course I had to share this one with you guys. So it was no brainer for me to get on here to at least give you guys a heads up about this palette if you're interested in it, because I know that they're a type of brand where they order as orders come in, as a pre-order come in. They don't have a bunch of stock of these, so it takes a little bit for these palettes to get to you. So I wanted to share with you guys all of my thoughts, swatches, a quick tutorial on this eye look that I did today with this palette. But first, before we get into this palette, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alex. I'm an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash of Project Pan. If that is something that interests you, subscribe, join us. And now without further ado, let's get on with the review. So here is the palette in all of its glory, you guys. This is your typical Menagerie Cosmetics palette. This is the Killer Purr palette. I did pre-order this back September 26th, you guys, and I just got it, and it is the second week of November. It takes a while for them to send things out to you, but I love that about this brand because they're not constantly releasing things, and you actually want what you get. You don't forget about it, and your anticipation is awesome with it. And you guys know I am basically their number one fan. I love this brand so much overall. Look at the packaging of this. Isn't this gorgeous? It is beautifully done. All of their artwork is actually drawn out by an artist, and then they put it on their palettes, which is amazing. Their palettes are all magnetic. They all come with a mirror, and you can pop these out because these are magnetized onto here. So this is what this palette looks like, you guys. Isn't it beautiful in all of its glory? I did post a picture on my Instagram. It was against a window, so it kind of washed out the colors a little bit. So I wanted to really share with you guys what it looked like. So here it is. This is the very first official, 12 pan palette that is more neutral based. And it's not 100% like all browns and boring colors, even though I still like those colors, don't get me wrong. It has pops of colors, and even their neutral colors are more rich in their shades, which I love. This is a neutral palette. I definitely can 100% say I would go for this one if you don't like color, but you still want color and not a bunch of browns and golds. So this is what this palette looks like right here. This palette is $32, which is still a steal for me. I can't believe that they actually have the cost of these like this. It's a heavy duty palette. It feels good. The quality is amazing. A great magnet, so it doesn't open up. And again, you can take these out and rearrange them. So it is pre-order as we speak. So if you do place an order with them currently, you would have to wait. I don't know when their restock is or when they're making new palettes of this. You guys have heard I basically almost waited 2 months for this palette to come, which is perfectly fine with me. I do not mind that one bit. So here it is right here. You're getting 10 mattes and 2 metallic shades. With this formula, like I've mentioned in the past, this one is no different from any of the other palettes that I've owned. It is a very soft and super pigmented quality type of formula. So you really should not, and I would recommend not to, jab your finger into these eyeshadows because you are going to basically ruin it and make a dent in it. You have to very lightly touch them, just graze them over, and you're going to get enough pigmentation. Same thing with your brushes. Instead of bouncing your brushes in them, roll them into the shadow. You'll get plenty of pigmentation for the look that you're going for, and that way you have more control over the color, so you're not putting too much on at once, and then it's harder to blend out versus starting smaller and smaller. And it is harder. Different formulas, depends on how their formulas are. You have to figure out how to place it on your eyes, and that way you're not putting on too much and be able to gradually build it up. And that's how I found with these. You roll them in, and then you go ahead into your eyes and build as you go. So you guys can see I have used this palette. It is beautiful, you guys. I will say be careful with the metallic shades like I have in any of their other palettes. Be very, very careful. I basically have my hands or my fingers to go in them gently because even a scratchy brush, it's gonna be too much for these shadows. I would go with super soft brushes with this type of formula and not scratchy brushes because you will make more of a mess than anything. So I would go with my fingers in with the metallics, but if you are going to go with a brush, use a very, very soft brush. Now let's talk about the color story, shall we? So obviously you guys can see that the theme of it, it's more like safari, it's more of earthy tones. It's really, really, really pretty, you guys. I can't see somebody who doesn't like too much color not even liking this one. This is your very bold shade right here, and as you guys can see, it has stained my finger, and that is a warning that they give you in their outside packaging, that these may stain your eyes. Use an oil-based makeup remover and it'll take it down. My Neutrogena oil-free one takes it down perfectly fine for me. I've never had any staining issues on my eyelids themselves, maybe my fingers, but not so much my eyelids, so I'm good in that sense. But if you use an oil-based makeup remover, you should be fine, and it shouldn't really leave an actual stain on your lids. So as you guys can see here, you're getting very, very beautiful wearable shades. I know I hate using that word, but it is true. You can use these. You can use this in the 9-to-5 office and you won't feel like you're out of place. You have a cooler tone here. You got this really soft yellow and this peachy type of shade over here. These two are beautiful and they look similar in the pan, but they're not. This one has more yellow to it, and then this one down here has more brown to it. So depending on where you're taking your look, you can use either one of these two. You're having your matte brown here, and it's a rich chocolatey one. It's not as deep as this one, which I do like. You have a nice contrast. There is no black in here, which I think is amazing. They give you instead this dark brown that almost has a purple undertone to it. So I do love the variation that I can go brown, true brown, or I can go ahead and go more purple based over here. Your two metallic shades, this one's more rich bronzy and this one has more of a gold yellow undertone to it. You get your typical orange, which everyone loves, and this green is gorgeous. This is definitely a gorgeous shade. I love this one a ton. This is like your teal. It's more green than blue, to be honest with you. It's not, it looks blue on camera, but it's truly more green in person, and I love that. I love this one. Very, very beautiful palette. There's no complaints about it whatsoever. If you felt like the other ones were way too colorful for you, you would only get use out of 1 or 2 shades at a time, and you wanted something more neutral based, this is the palette for you. You're getting your acceptable shades for the work office, but they're not your browns and beiges and bone colors and gold. It's different. It really is different, and I love that. I wish more neutral palettes were like this, because I think more people would enjoy neutral palettes that love color. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys the look that I did today, and then I will also compare them to the other palettes that I do have, just in case you're wondering if there are any overlaps in shades. So we started off with this look by going in with Maine. Maine is the one that is more brown based, neutral shade. I put it all over the crease, blended it out, super beautiful. Then I went with Boa, I think that's how you say it. It's more of a moss green, I would say. And then I put that on the outer V and then blended it out and put it a little bit into my crease. Then I went ahead in with Lioness. I tried it with a brush, but I realized that with your finger is better. I would recommend using your fingers with these better. I put it all over my lid and it worked beautifully fine. And then with my lower lash line, I mixed Boa and Maine under my lower lash line. That's the look that I came out with today. Super simple, but yet it looks colorful and still acceptable for the everyday type of individual. Now, if you're wondering how does this look like compared to either the Pharaoh palette or the Whale Song palette, because some of these shades you may think that look similar, so I am going to share that with you guys right now. So here you have the Pharaoh palette, and then this is the new Killer Purr palette. So you guys can see the green in here. It's definitely more green, mossy green than this one. This one has a little bit more of a blue tinge to it. And then this shade right over here is definitely more green, and this one's more aqua to it. So you guys can see even the oranges, this orange here and this orange right over here, are very different from one another. The only other shade that I would say maybe it might be a little bit similar is this gray right here, and then you're going with this one, but this has more brown to it than it does actual gray compared to this one right over here. So there you guys have these two. They're different. There's nothing really similar to them. I can't say that you're overlapping any shades between the two of these, so you are safe if you do have the Pharaoh palette. Now moving on to the Whale Song palette. So here you have the Whale Song palette on the top, and then you have the Killer Purr on the bottom. There is this green, obviously right over here. This green is way too lime green, and this one has more blue to it than anything. So those are not similar at all. And then again, this shade right over here is more green based than this shade right over here. So you guys can see there really isn't too many overlapping. And even so, if you're looking at this shade right here, this one definitely has more of a green tone to it, but if you're going down looking at this one right here, has more yellow base to it. So even that one's different from one another. So they haven't given you dupes as far as very similar shades in either one of these. They're all different from one another. They may have a similar look when you're looking at them, but on the eyes, they're gonna be a bit different because this is more of a blue-green based palette. This one's more of a fun, you know, colorful type of palette, and this one's more toned down as far as the brightness goes. So I think that this one is going to be a hit with a lot of people, especially if you heard me rave and ramp about this brand, but you always felt like the color stories were way too bright for you. You weren't going to get use out of them. Maybe this one might be it, especially for the holiday season. It is perfect. I feel like this one definitely is one that I would feel comfortable gifting to those that want to have more of a variety as far as their colors go, but don't want to be too extreme and go with something like this one. It's so beautiful. I will obviously link it down in the description box. If you did purchase it, let me know what you think down in the comment section. I will continue to use this palette as I have with my other ones. I've been such a fan of this brand. There is no surprise that I would actually get this palette and enjoy it. And I haven't been buying many palettes. You guys have seen that I haven't been doing many reviews because I've been trying to tone it down. And I just love when I get things like this, and I appreciate them even more because I get more use out of them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will put more videos right over here for your enjoyment. Until then, bye guys.